Wang Lin's divine sense swept past 13. "I'll return in 3 months. He found that 13 had no injuries and was only in a coma. He grabbed 13, took a step into the air, and disappeared over the horizon. The demon general had his hand behind his back as he looked into the sky and shook his head. The 5 people who were equal to late-stage soul transformation cultivators rushed in. When the 5 of them watched the fight earlier, their hearts were completely absorbed in it, and they weren't able to pull themselves out for a long time. The 5 of them only recovered now that Wang Lin had left. One of the 5 said, "Demon General, I believe that his palm strike is fake. If you were to act, you could definitely kill him. Even though I know that there is a 90% chance that that palm is a bluff, I can't bring myself to risk it. Even if he only knows how to use an illusion, to make me hesitate so much means that he is indeed clever. To make it so what's real looks fake and what's fake looks real, this person can't be underestimated." Also, 1 year ago, against my 10 collapse punch, he had to use a secret technique to withstand up to 7 collapses. Now, 1 year later, his cultivation has increased exponentially. He and Commander Yao disappeared around the same time, yet only he came back, so there is something hidden there. But it has nothing to do with me. The Demon General's words were directed at the 5 of them, but he was mostly muttering to himself. The 5 of them silently pondered as they all raised their heads to look at where Wang Lin went to. A very complex feeling involuntarily appeared in their hearts. Wang Lin floated in the air and spread out his divine sense. He found the dark prison inside the city and appeared before it with the unconscious 13. This dark prison was underground. Although there were restrictions placed all over the area, none of them besides the ones in the depths of the prison could stop Wang Lin. With Hu Pao's status, he couldn't have been locked away in the deeper part of the prison. Wang Lin spread out his divine sense but was unable to find any trace of Hu Pao. He let out a sigh and then disappeared without a trace. Wang Lin moved extremely fast. Now that his cultivation had reached the peak of the late stage of soul transformation, his speed was several times faster than before. Even though he was carrying 13, it didn't take long for him to return to the soul refining tribe. Wang Lin appeared in a flash of light dozens of kilometers away from the soul refining tribe. Before him, he could see the soul refining tribe not far off. Although the soul refining tribe didn't expand during this year, all of the members had been working hard on their cultivation. This 10-kilometer area was all under the control of the soul refining tribe. There was a thick, black fog in the sky above this 10-kilometer area. Sometimes soul fragments moved within this black fog, and sometimes ghostly wails slowly echoed inside it. The people inside the soul refining tribe had gotten accustomed to the ghostly wails from the black fog. The louder the wails, the more soul fragments were inside. A majority of the people inside the soul refining tribe were cultivating right now. They all had their souls out as soul fragments flew out of the soul flags and into the black fog. At the same time, soul fragments returned from the black fog and went back inside the soul flags. After Wang Lin appeared, he took one step and charged toward the soul refining tribe like a bolt of lightning. He let out a smile, as he had already noticed more than 10 people at 10 different locations carefully observing the area. He was very familiar with these people. Their duty was to stand guard outside. Wang Lin's divine sense spread out, and within 50 kilometers, there were more than 100 people on guard. It didn't take long for Wang Lin to arrive about 1,000 feet away from the tribe. This was where he stopped. After he stopped, a powerful gust of wind followed him and blew toward the tribe. The moment he stopped, someone immediately saw Wang Lin. After a moment of shock, their eyes were filled with excitement. "Ancestor!" A shout filled with joy quickly awakened everyone from their cultivation. In almost an instant, all of the tribe members stood up. Yang Xixue turned into a cloud of black mist as he charged through the tribe. He stopped about 10 feet before Wang Lin with a face full of excitement and respectfully said, "Welcome back, ancestor." At the same time, all of the tribe members knelt down on one knee and said, in a chorus, "Welcome back, ancestor." The central valley of the soul refining tribe was an area that belonged solely to Wang Lin. Right now he was sitting inside the valley with 13 down on one knee before him. 13's eyes were filled with excitement. It has already been 3 days since Wang Lin returned to the tribe, and 13 had been awakened by him with a spell. After awakening, 13 immediately saw Wang Lin, and his heart was immediately filled with excitement. Wang Lin learned from 13 roughly what happened during this year of time. After talking about Hu Pao, Wang Lin let out a sigh. Hu Pao disappearing from the dark prison was very strange. With his peak late-stage soul transformation divine sense, he swept the whole city and didn't find a trace of Hu Pao. Hu Pao cultivated the soul refining technique that Wang Lin taught him, so in the end, the final control of the soul fragments belonged to Wang Lin. However, Wang Lin couldn't find a trace of the soul fragments refined by Hu Pao. If Hu Pao didn't die, then he must be in some mysterious place. There is no other reason why I can't find him. Wang Lin pondered for a bit before giving up on this matter regarding Hu Pao. He had already done his best. He raised his head to look at 13. One of the reasons he had brought Hu Pao and 13 to Ancient Demon City was to test them. If the two passed his test, he would teach them new techniques. For Hu Pao, aside from soul refining, there was also soul extraction. However, this soul extraction spell required much more effort than soul refining. Although Wang Lin had modified it, he wouldn't casually teach it. As for 13, the original idea of giving 13 the ancient god tactic was immediately discarded. The ancient god tactic was something he could never teach. However, during this year, 13 had passed Wang Lin's test with flying colors. Wang Lin could feel that 13 would be completely loyal to him for at least several decades. On planet Suzaku, Wang Lin had a lot of interactions with the giant demon clan. When he killed the giant demon clan ancestor, he also obtained the giant demon clan ancestor's bag of holding. Aside from that drop of ancient god blood, there were also some jades in there. Among these jades there was a record of a body cultivation method called the 9 cultivations of the Titan. Back then, Wang Lin only quickly looked at it and forgot about it. Now he looked at 13 as he touched his bag of holding and a cyan jade appeared in his hand. Wang Lin scanned it with his divine sense and thought, this is it. The 9 cultivations of the Titan had a total of 9 levels and was a body refining technique. After memorizing all 9 chants, he wiped out the last 3 levels and threw it to 13. 13 caught the jade with excitement. His gratitude toward Wang Lin was already indescribable. He knelt down on the ground, kowtowed a few times, and said, Ancestor, 13 will only listen to you for the rest of his life. Guard the soul refining tribe well. Now go. Wang Lin waved his right hand and a gentle breeze sent 13 out of the valley. Wang Lin sat by himself inside the valley. The sky was covered by the black fog. This black fog was formed by the 1 billion soul flag, and using it to nurture soul fragments had the best effect. I felt safe leaving the flag here when I was at Ancient Demon City. However, the capital is too far away, so I can't leave the flag here. Wang Lin looked up at the black fog in the sky before closing his eyes and beginning to cultivate. At this moment, far to the west of the soul refining sect, almost halfway across the sky demon country, there was an endless desert. This place was known as a very fierce place in the demon spirit land. Rumor has it that countless years ago, this was an ancient battleground of the demon spirit land. Millions of kilometers of land were covered in corpses, and the ground was dyed dark red. Just one glance was enough to shock anyone's heart. Outside this ancient battleground there was an invisible restriction that cut off everything from the outside world. At this moment, there was a young man sitting in this ancient battleground. Before him were more than 100 small flags. These flags moved without any wind and slowly circled around him. A strand of black mist surrounded his body, and the presence of this black mist caused the large amount of souls that were sleeping here to awaken. Every time a soul fragment awakened, a violent strand of black gas would charge out from the ground. It would spin with the black mist for a few laps before going inside one of the small flags. There was a black-robed old man 1,000 feet away from the young man. This person coldly looked at the young man, and after one incense stick of time, he said, "Okay, finish up." The young man nodded, then his hand formed a seal and all the small flags released a black glow and landed in his hand. At this moment, the young man opened his eyes. The moment he saw the old man, he immediately stood up and respectfully said, "Hu Pao greets benefactor." The old man nodded and said, "Very good. When the time comes that you can refine all the soul fragments in this ancient battleground with your soul refining skill, there is no way you won't be able to go in the demon spirit land." Hu Pao's face was filled with excitement as he said, "This is all because of benefactor. You saved my life, taught me spells, and brought me here to refine soul fragments. Hu Pao will forever remember those things." The old man's expression was still cold as he said, "If it wasn't for the fact that your spell is strange and is something I have never seen before, I wouldn't have saved you. In addition, your previous master returned to Ancient Demon City, fought with the demon general, and saved 13. I was one step too late." Hu Pao revealed a complex expression and said, "If I can refine all the soul fragments here, the first thing I'll do is kill this Wang Lin." The old man looked at Hu Pao and said, "He did, after all, teach you the soul refining spell. Why do you insist on killing this person?" Hu Pao pondered a bit before he sneered. Although he taught me the soul refining spell, he had ulterior motives. If not for Wang Lin angering Sima Yang, I wouldn't have been thrown into the dark prison. In the first few months in the dark prison, I had hopes for Wang Lin to come to save me, but as time passed by, that hope was destroyed. When I was being tortured, where was he? When I was being abused, where was he? In the end, all of my expectations for him to save me turned to hate. If it wasn't he for him, how would have ended up like this? Luckily, Benefactor rescued me, and on that day, when I woke up, I swore I would never be a slave again. The old man's cold face gradually revealed a hint of a smile as he said, "Good. To have such decisive thinking, no wonder you are someone who caught my attention." Then the old man turned around, took one step, and disappeared without a trace. Hu Pao clenched his fist as he looked into the distance and muttered to himself, 13 is too simple and is being cheated by Wang Lin. During those months in the dark prison, I realized that Wang Lin considers me and 13 disposable pawns. Wang Lin, one day, when I use my soul flags and release tens of millions of soul fragments, I want to see your expression. I want to see how you will resist my tens of millions of soul fragments. Once I cultivate the world-destroying suppression method to the 4th level, I will have endless demonic spiritual energy. Wang Lin, Sima Yang, just you two wait. Hu Pao's eyes revealed thick killing intent. There was a pitch-black tower in the depths of this ancient battleground. This tower was dozens of feet tall and there were rings of light around it. These rings seemed to be able to absorb all the light coming at it. From a distance, the tower seemed to have an air of majesty around it. The black-robed man's figure appeared outside the tower. He took a deep breath and stepped into the tower. At the top of the tower, he knelt down on both knees. Before him was a set of armor. This armor looked very old and was definitely not something from this era. If someone with discerning eyes were to see this, they would immediately recognize that this armor had some extraordinary history behind it. It was still fairly intact and was completely black. There were countless patterns engraved on it, and they were all clouds. These clouds were completely black, which gave off a strange feeling. From a distance, this set of armor looked like a person sitting cross-legged in the room and gave of an irresistible sense of majesty. Waves of black gas came out from the armor and filled the tower. 2 ghostly lights suddenly appeared inside the helmet like a pair of eyes, and its gaze fell on the old man. At this moment, the world outside trembled slightly as if a celestial spirit had descended. The old man took a deep breath and said, "Your subordinate has checked and found out that the demon emperor of the sky demon country, Scorpio, should have already made the last step 1,000 years ago, but he is forcibly suppressing it." The ghostly light inside the helmet flashed and an invisible chill came out from the armor. The old man's body and mind trembled and cold sweat appeared on his forehead. After a long time, the ghostly light landed on the old man's eyes as if sending a message. After a few breaths of time, the ghostly light dissipated and the armor returned to normal. The mysterious aura around the armor disappeared too. The old man's entire body was covered in sweat as he said, "Yes." After that, he stood up and respectfully left the highest floor of the tower. Then he returned to the first floor and sat down in the lotus position. This time he was clearly more relaxed. If this child, Hu Pao, can absorb a lot of soul fragments, then combining the mysterious nature of the soul refining technique and my alchemy skill, his cultivation can increase rapidly in a short period of time. Then I'll let him cultivate Master's momentary art to condense all his longevity and potential into just 1 hour of power so he can become one of the demon guardians. This soul refining spell is very mysterious, but I feel like there is some flaw hidden within it. However, Master can't be awake for too long, so I can't waste his time on this small matter. If not for the fact that Hu Pao knows this mysterious soul refining spell, with his qualification and status, he wouldn't be qualified to become a demon guardian. If this experiment is successful, I'll have to go check out that soul refining tribe. Inside the inner valley of the soul refining tribe, Wang Lin touched his bag of holding and a ball of restrictions suddenly flew out. He sent out a seal at the ball of restrictions and then it suddenly enlarged and opened like a flower blooming. Inside, Yao Xixue was sitting in the lotus position and her face was deathly pale. The life seal placed on her forehead continued to flash. Every time it flashed, it would send a bit of life force into her body to prevent her from dying. Yao Xixue opened her eyes and gave Wang Lin a vicious stare. Her hatred for Wang Lin was endless. Wang Lin completely ignored Yao Xixue's gaze as he calmly said, "Fellow cultivator Yao, have you considered my proposal from last time?" Yao Xixue clenched her teeth. She couldn't feel the passage of time inside this restriction, which made a feeling of helplessness arise in her heart. Although it has only been a bit over a year on the outside, for her, it felt like an eternity. Wang Lin looked at Yao Xixue and softly said, "My patience has its limits, so I'll only give you 3 chances. This time you can choose not to answer again, but next time will be the 3rd time. If you still don't wish to answer, then we will never meet again. Are you not afraid of my father hunting you down?" Yao Xixue clenched her first. Wang Lin faintly smiled and nodded. "I'm afraid. The blood ancestor's cultivation is far above mine. If I'm hunted by him, I'm afraid I won't even have the chance to escape with my low cultivation. However, I was forced into this situation. If it wasn't for you scheming against me, I would not have plotted against you. Everything has a cause and effect. If I let you go, I will still offend the blood ancestor, but if I keep you at hand, I might have a chance to live." Yao Xixue quickly said, "If you let me go, I'll swear to never tell my father about it and the grudge between us will be cleared." Wang Lin carefully looked at Yao Xixue and said, "I don't believe you." "You?" Yao Xixue took a deep breath and said, "What do you want?" Wang Lin said, "Follow my rule, answer one of my questions, and I'll decrease the amount of time I seal you for by 50 years. Yao Xixue lowered her head. Her eye showed signs of struggle. Wang Lin patiently looked at her. Half an incense stick of time later, she raised her head and coldly said, "Even if you seal me, with my father's ability, he will still find me. At that time, I'll personally see my father destroy your body, extract your soul, and lock it in the nether place. At that time, you will know what it means to be better off dead than alive." Wang Lin let out a sigh and said, "You wasted your second chance. I hope you will treasure the next time." With that, his eyes lit up and he took a step forward. He arrived before Yao Xixue, grabbed her jaw, and with a little force, forced her little mouth open. Yao Xixue's face was completely pale. She wanted to struggle, but her body had no strength. Wang Lin revealed a smile that was not a smile as he inserted 2 fingers into Yao Xixue's mouth. When he withdrew his hand, there was a red needle between his fingers. You use trace amounts of essence from inside your body to form this needle. If given enough time, you might really be able to use this needle to block the life seal and die within this restriction. With that, Wang Lin crushed the needle, causing it to dissipate in a cloud of red mist. Yao Xixue's body trembled. Her gaze toward Wang Lin could no longer be described as vicious. Yao Xixue took a deep breath, then a rare trace of clarity appeared in her eyes and she softly said, "Wang Lin, if there is a day I escape, I'll use any means to torture you in the most cruel way." At this moment, it was as if there was an invisible force working on Yao Xixue's body. It was slowly condensing all her hatred for Wang Lin and gradually changing it to break open the void. Wang Lin faintly smiled and said, "It looks like there are too few restrictions on your body." He waved his right hand, and with a gentle breeze, Yao Xixue's clothes were blown away, revealing her voluptuous body. Wang Lin carefully examined her body. Yao Xixue's eyes still maintained the clarity she had before, but Wang Lin could see that it was starting to dissipate. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as his right hand reached out and poked several places on her body. Every location he poked was a sensitive spot for Yao Xixue. Every time his finger landed, he sent a trace of celestial spiritual energy into her body. Yao Xixue's body slowly turned red, and the clarity in her eyes disappeared and was replaced by endless humiliation and hostility once more. Yao Xixue's malice had reached its limit, and she hysterically shrieked, "Wang Lin, you are despicable, shameless. Yao Xixue, will never forgive you." Wang Lin let out a sigh of relief. This Yao Xixue's talent was indeed amazing. At that moment, she was going to turn her incredible hatred for him into a type of understanding. To enter the Tao through hatred, that was where that clarity from her eyes came from. If she was successful, then he wouldn't be able to seal her with just the life seal. That was why Wang Lin removed her clothes, stimulated her body with celestial spiritual energy until the clarity in her eyes disappeared and destroyed the state she had just entered. Wang Lin softly said, "There are too few seals on you." His hands moved, creating countless restrictions that landed on Yao Xixue's body. Wang Lin's restrictions mercilessly created a cycle on her sensitive spots. As a result, that kind of stimulation from before would constantly be invading her body. This was the only way to keep her from regaining her clarity and have that kind of enlightenment like before. After doing all of this, Wang Lin pointed at her and the restrictions that had opened up immediately began to close. They turned back into a ball again and Wang Lin put it away inside his bag of holding. The blood ancestor's data is a problem. The only way to deal with her is to find a secret place to seal her. However, I must get all the secrets out of her first. If my cultivation reaches the ascendant stage, I can just use the soul search spell. If I were to use it now, a slight mistake might kill her and leave a lot of problems in the future. Time passed and more than 2 months quickly went by. There were only a few days until his promise with the demon general. On this day, Wang Lin walked out of the valley with Yang Xixue behind him. Wang Lin slowly said, "After I leave, dispatch hundreds of people to the surrounding tribes regardless of their size. Use any method necessary to integrate into the other tribes. Use the soul fragments to resist the various memory-wiping potions the tribes have. Once inside, begin teaching them the soul-refining spells so more people can learn them. As for the specifics, I'll let you arrange them yourself." Yang Xixue softly responded in agreement. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin took out a piece of jade. He handed it to Yang Xixue and said, "The soul-refining spell actually has 2 parts. The first part is soul-refining and the second part is soul-extracting. This can't be taught to anyone who isn't a core disciple. Remember it well." Yang Xixue took a deep breath as he accepted the jade with care. After reading it, he crushed it and said, in a serious tone, "Ancestor, I have memorized it and will not forget Ancestor's words. This spell will only be taught to the core disciples of the soul-refining tribe." Wang Lin nodded and his hand reached toward the sky. All of the black fog over the soul-refining tribe immediately gathered in his hand, forming a 30-foot-long flag. Then he quickly swallowed it with his origin soul. Then he took out several normal soul flags and threw them into the sky, creating a black fog to cover the sky once more. After doing all of this, Wang Lin took a step forward and immediately disappeared. A voice came from far away into Yang Xue's ears. "When I return, I hope the tribe will have more than 1 million members." Wang knelt down on the ground and said, in a serious voice, "I won't disappoint the ancestor." Although those words were for Wang Lin, who was now far away, it was more so a commitment to himself. Wang Lin moved through the sky, creating a streak of light, and charged directly toward ancient demon city. I wonder what kinds of dragons and tigers are hidden at the Sky Demon Country's capital. There will be more people from planet Tuanyun as well. I wonder if I'll meet any of them on this trip to the capital. There are also those 10 or so people from the Da Lu sword sect. If I meet any of them, I must capture one and question them about Ju Yi's whereabouts. Wang Lin pondered, but his speed didn't slow down at all and he disappeared over the horizon. Demon General Mo Lihai was wearing a green shirt as he stood on top of the eastern gate of ancient demon city. Behind him were the chief commander and commanders. Mo Lihai looked into the distance and didn't say a word. After a long time, Mo Lihai withdrew his gaze and then turned around to carefully look at ancient demon city. In an instant, he saw the wreckage at the center of the city. Mo Lihai thought, "After I leave this time, I won't come back and another demon general will take over the city, so that wreckage has nothing to do with me. It is a pity that 13 was taken away by Wang Lin. I was only able to refine 17 of my 18 demon body techniques. However, if Wang Lin truly tries to help me this time, I'm confident I can enter the top 3 in the demon general competition. Then I'll obtain the qualification to enter the demon temple to cultivate, and once I come out, I'll be a vice commander-in-chief." Mo Lihai took a deep breath. His eyes concentrated in the distance and he revealed a smile. This person is someone who won't go back on his word. Mo Lihai laughed and his voice spread out. "Brother Wang, I'm here." Wang Lin appeared in the sky above the eastern gate. His eyes looked at the group before falling on Mo Lihai. "I made Brother Mo wait." Wang Lin smiled. "No problem. This trip is very important for me, so I'll be relying on Brother Wang." Mo Lihai took one step and appeared before Wang Lin. Wang Lin laughed. "No problem. It will take 3 transfer arrays to reach the capital, so Brother Wang, let us go." 2 rays of red light flew across ancient demon city and into the distance, leaving behind only thunderous echoes.